Assalamu alaikum. What's going on, everybody? This is ER with the People's Champion here to drop some knowledge on you today. So, today I'm going to talk to you about a very interesting topic. It's interesting to me anyway. I hope it's interesting to you. So, the topic today is the soul and the battle between two extremes for the soul. On one side, we have the dunya, we have this world pulling at your soul, pulling at you and your desires. And on the other side, we have remembrance of Allah and the afterlife. So we have the pull of this world and we have the pull of the afterlife. It's natural for us to be pulled towards the things of this life, to the dunya. There are only a very few exceptional people who are able to control the desires to a point where they can abandon the dunya. They can abandon this life and they can be comfortable with very little. We call these people the zuhad. And these people are very few and far between, and these are the people that Allah loves and has blessed them. But for the rest of us, we're pulled by this life. When we see a new iPhone come out, we're ready to go grab it. When we see a beautiful sunset, of course the heart is moved, you gravitate towards it. You see a nice house when you're driving by, mashallah, you look at it, you say it's beautiful. You see beautiful people, of course, your desires look, you want it. Me personally, I'm quite partial to delicious food. I see a nice plate of biryani, meat, my heart moves towards it, I want it. These are all natural things. There is nothing wrong with this. The problem occurs when you are completely engrossed in the acquiring of these things of this life. And not just this, when you go beyond the bounds and now you enter into the zone of sins. When you now engage in the attainment of that which is not permissible for you. When you become so engrossed in trying to become rich that you now move to stealing. You take other people's things, knocking folks over the head to get what you want, going so far as murder, lying, stealing, these kind of things, backbiting, destroying people so that you can get a position. Once a person moves towards this and they become so engrossed in this life to the point that they are now enamored by sins, this is a problem. This is a problem. A person would think, especially the people of religion, they would think that, well, it's very easy for us to overcome these things because the message of God is powerful, so therefore it should be easy to overcome these things. No, it doesn't work that way. If it were that, then God would not have needed to send us down books. He wouldn't have needed to send us messengers or revelation. Every human would be able to use their reasoning to come to the conclusion that what's best for me is this, this, and that. Which we know is impossible. That's not the case. The contract that we as humans pretty much had in the past is being broken down now. In the past, it was very easy for everybody to agree that murder was a sin. In some communities now, that's doubtful. In the past, it was very easy for us to agree that stealing and these kind of things was not allowed. But however, people today have changed the meaning of stealing to something else, and scams and all kind of things have occurred, and people get rich off of this and flaunt their money on Instagram and whatever else. So the social contract that we had with each other, or the understanding we had of what is right and what is wrong, has broken down, which shows that it cannot be left up to us humans to decide what is right and what is wrong. So now we come to the remembrance of Allah, the afterlife. And again, some people think, oh, because I'm a person of faith, it is easy for a person to ignore the dunya and ignore the things of this life. One would think that, but that is not the case. Why? Because it is natural. You have hormones in your body that naturally tell you to do certain things. This is the way you're wired as a human. So therefore, it is natural for you to lean towards issues of the dunya. It is natural for you to lean towards wanting to get married. It is natural for you get hungry, you want food. You get thirsty, you want to drink. You need a place to stay. You need a house. You need transportation to get from here to there. So it is natural for us to lean towards these things. Just like water. When water flows, what is the natural thing that water does? It looks for the lowest point. Water flows to the lowest point. But in order for you to divert that water, to make water go uphill, is going to require effort. You have to change the surroundings. You have to build things. You have to do all kinds of stuff, all kinds of engineering and, convincing people to move on their land and It's a much harder thing to do, to make water go uphill against its natural course. So the same thing with humans. When humans require or are needed to go against their natural inclination, is going to require a lot of work. And that's where belief in God does come in. Allah the Mighty and Majestic has sent down books and He sent messengers to us in order for us to combat these desires that we have. Allah has sent down, in Arabic, what they call targhib wa tarhib. He sent down exhortation and intimidation. Allah has sent down the Quran, and that's my focus. He sent on other books, but my focus is the Quran, because I can verify the Quran is true. So He sent down the Quran, and in the Quran, Allah tells us about the paradise. Right? When you follow His commandments and you follow His way, you get a reward. And this should entice the human. This should convince the human to want to do these actions. So as Muslims, we know that we need to pray. We need to do Ramadan. If you can't do Hajj, you give charity. Even if you don't have money, smiling in the face of your brother is charity. So we're encouraged to do these actions. And the more actions you do, the more faith in your heart increases. And therefore you're more inclined to do good things on a regular basis. And you know that you're doing it for reward. First to please Allah, and then to get that reward of paradise. But on the flip side, not everybody, unfortunately, because I'm a teacher and I'm going to tell y'all straight up, there are more knuckleheads on earth than there are level-headed people. This is my experience with the world. There are more knuckleheads, and I'm one of them. I'm a knucklehead, y'all. So there are some people that require for Allah to tell you of the negative things that can happen, right? Maybe you're not convinced by the positive, but there's some people who are wired. You tell me the negative, okay, I understand. So Allah has given us the warning of the hellfire, of destruction, the ultimate destruction, that you will be in hellfire forever, being tormented. And for some people, this is what they need in order to motivate them to go against their natural inclinations, to fight against their desire to do what is wrong, to fight against preoccupying themselves with this dunya. So this is the reality that we live in. We are in between two things, this life and the afterlife. And it doesn't mean, it's unlike some people who want you to go all of one way. It doesn't mean that we give up the good things in life. You can have the good things in life. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to have a nice car, nice house, and all those kind of things. But this should not be the goal. This should not be the goal. This should not preoccupy your life and your time. Remembrance of Allah is ultimately going to give you the best reward that anybody can think of, which is paradise. So with this, I end, folks. As always, I tell you to smile and stay classy.